BMW just made every other car maker in the world stop and stare. They were quietly preparing something massive, and honestly, what you are about to see here explains exactly why this brand keeps dominating segment after segment across the globe. Sedans engineered for pure performance, SUVs built to humiliate the competition, electric machines that make Tesla look nervous, and one of these 5 new BMWs will cost less than you ever imagined possible from this brand. Another one brings back something millions of enthusiasts thought was gone forever, a pure combustion soul wrapped in next-generation technology. And what makes this even more dangerous is that these cars are coming directly after Mercedes, Audi, and even Porsche. Today, I am going to show you the 5 brand new BMW 2027 models that are here to destroy the competition. And pay very close attention to number 1, because the moment BMW officially confirmed it, the entire industry went silent. So share this video with every car person you know, because BMW just showed up with everything it has. This is ATIF Cars, and let's get into it. Number 5. BMW M2 CS. We open this list with the car that had BMW purists absolutely losing their minds the moment the specs leaked, the all-new BMW M2 CS 2027. And before you say anything, yes, this is a completely different animal from what you already know, because this is not simply the regular M2 with a fresh coat of paint and a new badge. This is BMW's engineers going into a room, locking the door, and asking themselves one question. How do we build the most aggressive compact performance car on the planet right now? And the answer they came back with genuinely shocked a lot of people inside this industry. The M2 CS 2027 carries a reworked version of the S58 inline-6 engine, the same block you find in the M3 and M4 competition. But here's where it gets interesting. BMW did not simply transplant the engine and call it a day. They went deeper. Revised intake geometry, upgraded turbocharger specs, new engine management software tuned specifically for the lighter, shorter M2 platform. And the result is a compact rear-wheel drive machine pushing somewhere around 560 horsepower and over 650 Newton-meters of torque. From an inline-6 in a compact body that small, those numbers are genuinely unhinged. Now, here's the thing that makes this car so special compared to what Porsche and Mercedes-AMG are doing. BMW refused to go all-electric here. They refused to water it down with a mild hybrid system nobody asked for. They kept it raw, they kept it loud, they kept it analog in all the ways that actually matter to the people buying this class of car. You press the throttle and this thing responds immediately. No hesitation, no lag, no delay while a computer decides whether you really meant it. Just pure mechanical aggression the second your foot moves. Porsche's Cayman GT4 RS has been the benchmark in this segment for years. A lot of people thought nothing could touch it for pure driver engagement at this price level. But now BMW is entering that exact conversation with 560 horsepower and a rear-wheel drive setup that the GT4 RS simply cannot match on raw power numbers. Mercedes-AMG A45 S buyers are also going to feel this one, because the M2 CS is not just faster, it is sharper, it is more focused, and it is the kind of car that reminds you why you fell in love with driving in the first place. The price will start around $82,000, and for everything this car delivers, several competitors suddenly look very overpriced, because BMW just raised the bar in the compact performance segment so high that catching up is going to take years. Number 4. BMW X3. Here we have the car that got people arguing from the second BMW showed it, the all-new BMW X3 2027 built on the Neue Klasse architecture. And while some people were complaining in the comments, BMW was already 4 steps ahead because they understood exactly where this market is heading. The X3 has been selling like crazy for one very simple reason. It works, and it costs far less than what people expect from a BMW with this level of technology. But the 2027 version is not just a refresh, it is a complete reimagination. This is the first time the X3 rides on BMW's brand new Neue Klasse platform, and that single detail changes everything about this car. The Neue Klasse is not just a new chassis, it's a completely different way of building a car. New electrical architecture, new software system, new approach to how the battery integrates into the structure. Everything starts fresh. The fully electric version of this X3 comes with two motor configurations. The entry variant pushes around 308 horsepower from a single rear motor, and the all-wheel drive performance version steps up to 483 horsepower with torque vectoring between the axles. But the number that's making Audi and Porsche genuinely nervous is the range figure. BMW is targeting around 600 kilometers of real-world range from an 84 kilowatt-hour usable battery pack. The Audi Q6 e-tron maxes out around 625 kilometers in its absolute best version, with everything perfectly optimized. The Porsche Macan Electric struggles to break 600 kilometers in comparable conditions. BMW is entering this exact fight, and not just matching these cars, they're competing right at the very top of the segment. And there's more. Charging speed on this platform reaches up to 270 kilowatts peak, which means you add around 200 kilometers of range in roughly 10 minutes. You stop for a coffee, you charge, you leave. That conversation about electric SUVs being inconvenient for long drives is getting harder and harder to have anymore. The interior is where BMW surprised everyone. A curved display system that feels completely different from anything in this segment right now. New generation iDrive with artificial intelligence built directly into the operating system, not bolted on afterwards as an update, built in from day one. Materials and fit quality that rival what you find in cars costing $30,000 more. And it all starts around $58,000, which is a genuine problem for every brand fighting in this exact space. Because when a car on a brand new platform with 600 kilometers of range and 483 horsepower in the top version starts at $58,000, a lot of buyers stop looking at other brands entirely.
Number 3. BMW 7 Series. In this spot sits the car that is probably going to generate the most heated debate, the BMW 7 Series 2027 updated flagship. And this is where BMW decided to stop playing it safe and start making statements. Because this is not a subtle update. This is BMW looking at what Mercedes did with the new S-Class and deciding to go even further. The 2027 7 Series receives what BMW internally is calling the most comprehensive mid-cycle evolution in the model's entire history. New front fascia with dramatically repositioned adaptive LED elements, revised rear light graphic that honestly looks unlike anything else on the road today, but the exterior changes are almost the least interesting part of this story. Step inside and the transformation is genuinely difficult to process at first. The updated theater screen in the rear compartment now measures 31.3 inches diagonally. That is larger than most home televisions people bought 5 years ago. It runs on a dedicated operating system completely separate from the driver interface. Passengers have full control of streaming, communication, climate, ambient lighting, and rear seating positions all from one surface. Rolls-Royce charges well into 6 figures before you even start talking about customization at this level. BMW is delivering it inside a car that starts around $97,000. And that comparison is going to sting for Rolls-Royce sales teams everywhere. But here is the detail nobody expected. BMW is also adding a new M76e xDrive powertrain option, a plug-in hybrid combining a revised 4.4-litre twin-turbo V8 with an electric motor for a combined system output of around 571 horsepower, luxury and performance in the same package without having to choose between them. The Mercedes S-Class has held the crown in this segment for decades, not because it was untouchable, but because nobody built something compelling enough to make buyers stop and reconsider. But now you have 31.3 inches of rear entertainment, 571 horsepower in the top hybrid variant, a starting price of $97,000, and a design language that feels genuinely modern instead of just expensive. A lot of S-Class buyers are going to sit in this 7 Series and start questioning decisions they thought were already made, and that is exactly where BMW wants them. Number 2. BMW iX M70. Now we get to the one that is going to create the most noise, the BMW iX M70 2027. BMW took a decision that surprised a lot of traditional enthusiasts. They went all in on performance electricity at the very top of their SUV lineup, and that is exactly where this car starts to look genuinely dangerous. This is not an electric SUV pretending to be sporty. This is BMW's M division building a performance machine from a blank sheet of paper and then making it electric, because the performance numbers it needed could only come from electric motors right now. 2 electric motors, one on the front axle, one on the rear axle, combined output of around 659 horsepower and over 1,000 Newton-meters of torque available from literally 0 RPM. That last number is what changes the experience completely, because 1,000 Newton-meters of torque from 0 RPM means you press the accelerator and this car moves like it was launched from a catapult. No build-up, no waiting, no moment where the engine finds its power band. Instant, absolute, total. BMW is quoting a 0 to 100 km/h time of around 3.8 seconds in a full-size luxury SUV. The Lamborghini Urus SE generates 789 horsepower and costs dramatically more. The Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT pushes 640 horsepower. BMW is arriving with 659 horsepower, a larger battery, longer real-world range, and more torque than both of them. And then there's the range question, because that has always been the concern with performance electric vehicles. High performance, short range, not practical enough. BMW addressed that directly. The updated iX M70 targets around 560 kilometers of real-world range from an improved 111 kilowatt-hour battery pack, and with updated 200 kilowatt charging capability, getting from 10 to 80% takes around 35 minutes. The exterior received a full visual update as well. Wider track, more aggressive front air management, new rear diffuser that is functional, not decorative, and the signature BMW kidney grills are now fully active, opening and closing depending on thermal management demands. Inside, the M-specific interior includes carbon fiber trim throughout, merino leather across every surface, and a head-up display that projects information across a 700mm wide area at the base of the windscreen. Price starts around $149,000, and for people comparing this to a Cayenne Turbo GT or an Urus, the value equation becomes extremely uncomfortable for those brands, because BMW just built something faster, longer ranged, and more technologically advanced than both of them for less money. That's not a small problem for Lamborghini and Porsche, that's a serious one. And now, we're here. Prepare yourself, because number 1 is the car nobody predicted, and it might be the most important BMW announcement in the last 20 years. We have reached the car that honestly left the entire automotive press completely speechless the moment BMW unveiled it.
Number 1. BMW M3 Touring. We have the all-new BMW M3 Touring 2027 with the new S68 hybrid powertrain. And this is the car that made me most excited from this entire list. Not because it has the most horsepower, not because it breaks the most records. What changes everything here is something else entirely. This is the moment BMW confirms that the performance estate car is not dead, it is being reborn as something even more extraordinary than before. Because here is the reality, there are millions of people who genuinely loved performance wagons, who needed a car that could destroy a sports car from a stoplight on Friday and then carry the entire family on a road trip on Saturday without sacrificing anything in either direction. And for a while, it genuinely looked like that car was disappearing. Estate sales were dropping, brands were abandoning the segment, people were being told that an SUV was close enough, but it was never close enough and BMW knew it, so they built this. The 2027 M3 Touring receives BMW's new S68 inline-6 with an integrated electric motor. The combustion engine alone develops around 530 horsepower. The electric motor adds another 197 horsepower on demand. Combined system output sits at approximately 727 horsepower. In a station wagon, in a car you can take your children to school in, a car where you can fold the rear seats flat and load furniture from a hardware store. 727 horsepower. When that number started circulating in the automotive press, people genuinely thought it was a mistake. It is not a mistake. 0 to 100 km per hour in around 3.4 seconds, a top speed electronically limited to 290 km per hour in mDriver's package specification, and a real-world electric range of approximately 80 km on battery alone, which means during a normal commute week, many owners will barely use the combustion engine at all. The Mercedes-AMG E63 estate has been the absolute benchmark in this category for years. People who want a fast estate buy the E63, and that has been the answer for over a decade. But now that answer has changed, because 727 horsepower with electric range, a longer wheelbase than the M4, four-wheel drive with fully variable torque distribution, and a practical load space of over 500 litres creates something the E63 simply cannot compete with on paper. The Audi RS6 Avant is the other name that always comes up in this conversation. Beautiful car, incredible reputation, but the RS6 produces around 630 horsepower in its most powerful variant. BMW just arrived with 727 horsepower, electric capability, and a chassis tuned by the same M division that builds their GT racing cars. The RS6 suddenly looks like a car from a previous generation. And here is the detail that made everything even more interesting. BMW confirmed this car will be produced in both standard M3 Touring specification and an M3 CS Touring variant. The CS version adds lighter carbon ceramic brakes, revised aerodynamics, sharper suspension calibration, and a power figure that has not been officially confirmed yet, but is expected to push well beyond 750 horsepower. And the price? Standard M3 Touring 2027 starts around $92,000 for 727 horsepower, electric capability, genuine family practicality, and the performance of a car that costs twice as much from other brands. This is the goldmine of this entire BMW lineup, the car that makes everything else around it look like a compromise. BMW did not just bring back the performance estate, they made it the most advanced version of this concept that has ever existed. And that is why every rival in this segment is now looking at their product plans and wondering how long it will take to respond. Because BMW did not close the gap here, they opened a new one, and right now nobody on this list is close to filling it. So, there you have it, 5 BMWs confirmed for 2027 that just changed the rules of every segment they are entering. From the focused aggression of the M2 CS to the practical insanity of the M3 Touring Hybrid, BMW just sent a message to Mercedes, Audi, Porsche and Lamborghini all at once. And the message is simple: the competition just got harder. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these 5 you would actually buy. For me personally, it is that M3 Touring every single time, but I want to know what my subscribers are thinking. Do not forget to like this video if it delivered value and share it with every car enthusiast you know. This is Atif Cars, and I will see you in the next one.